YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, we're gonna be talking my apartment must-haves. Like, these are decor, art, just home items in general that I feel will either elevate your home or just are things you need. Like, these are things you really need. And these are things I've accumulated over the 2+ years that I've lived in my current space. And the great thing about home decor, and like the clothing hauls I do, they need to be done in real time or else they're going to be off the site. Some of these things, and pretty much everything I think I've validated, are things that I actually bought maybe a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, and they're still available. So today we're going to get into the home decor items that I just feel like these are suggestions, but these things really do take your home so that they just elevate it just a wee bit. And what we're going to get into first is we're going to get into fun things, but I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. This is something that is super important, and give me 2 minutes of grace to just discuss safety right now. I think with everything that's been going on recently, if you've been following Instagram or Facebook or Twitter right now, there was a moment where this Baltimore woman, a highly successful Baltimore woman, shared a man coming to her door literally with zip ties, a gun, and his gloves, putting them gloves on, covering up her Ring camera, and just being all around weird. And I think no more time than now do we need to discuss safety when it comes to your spot. Paris Milan made a great video about instance after instance after instance of this same thing happening over and over again. And luckily, people have either captured it on their cameras or a neighbor has had a Ring camera and they've captured it and shared the footage with the person. But recently, before this Baltimore woman situation, ironically, the week before, I had not an incident similar to these ladies, but I had a moment where I just needed to watch and be aware of my surroundings because I felt a little bit of a safety moment. I had a safety moment, and immediately when I felt that, I came into my apartment right after it, and I ordered a ring. Bought it with my own coinage, and it was one of those Amazon purchases where it comes the same day. So I ordered it at noon, got here by 7. I would have put it up by 7, but it gets dark early, so I waited until the morning. First things first, I put this Ring camera up. Again, I live in an apartment, and these are decor ideas for your apartment or your home, but don't think, oh, I don't have a house, so I don't need a ring. You need safety. You need safety. It doesn't matter whether you live in an external or an internal apartment these days. These people are trying it, regardless of where you live. I have the peephole ring, and when I ordered it, I did it on impulse. Like, I came into the house, I literally called my mom because what happened just spooked me a bit, and she was like, go to your leasing office, talk to them, and then order a camera immediately. And so I did that. And so after I did it, I realized my door had a knocker. So most of the install videos, to make a decision on what I needed to purchase, I watched apartment friendly Ring doorbells, and everybody suggested for apartments get the peephole one, and everybody had just regular peepholes, like how a normal door looks. They had those doors, but then I happened to walk back out my door that day, and I was like, dang it, I have a knocker door. Like, I have a peephole, of course. My peephole is so this is how my peephole was on my door. So this goes through it, and this is my peephole, but it had a knocker that was attached to it. And I was like, I'm not Bob the Builder. I don't know if I can do this with that. It was simple. It's so simple to do the peephole one. I just saved all this because I'm going to take it off when I get out of here and, just install my peephole back, because it was super easy to uninstall. I know it'll be easy to put back up, but you can also get the doorbell BOA. So if you want to get the Ring, I think version 2 or 3 are compatible with that. That's also an apartment friendly option. I think people think rings and you think you have to hardwire it to your house, because a lot of people have it hardwired to their house in place of their actual doorbell, which is great. When you own a home, do that. You hear that synonymous Ring doorbell sound throughout somebody's home, that's great. But don't think us people who have apartments don't have video options for our homes. We 100% do. So again, I ironically ordered this a week before this whole thing has gone viral recently, and I was like, this solidifies that I made a good decision. I would have paid double the amount for safety in my home, in my apartment. The great thing about it too is because you guys know I have a very much so Amazon heavy home. I have a Fire TV. All I have to do is tell my TV to show me front door. I can see it in seconds. I have a show. I bought a show. I asked you guys on Instagram, should I buy a show? And people were like, this might not be worth it. I bought a show anyways. I love it because, again, I can tell it to show me the front door, and I've caught some pretty funny things lately. Not anything suspicious, but I didn't realize how many kids just play hide and go seek nearby. So yeah, I love it. It's not overly sensitive. It's just a great device. So I know I've talked for minutes about it, but again, if you're in the sound of my voice, please, please, please do not take it as a joke. Do not take it as being funny. I know that with this young lady situation, this camera didn't deter them. And what I've noticed is the cameras aren't deterring these men. They're still doing these things. They're still being outside of women's spaces. They're still acting in this fashion with a camera, but at least you have evidence over them word of mouth. And again, if you need to get you a piece, get you a piece. Do what you got to do for your home and protect yourself, honey. Pepper spray, hammers. Get you a situation too on the inside, because if they do happen to make it past the doorbell and happen to make it in, then you need safety on the inside. I didn't want to make this about the ring. I didn't want to make this about safety, but so much has been happening recently that I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this as an essential for your apartment, for your space, for whatever you got going on. Moving on to more lighthearted things, let's talk about wall art and canvases. And my favorite in my house, if I think about all my wall art and things that I love, and what I get the most compliments on is, you guys know I love my iconic queens photo that I got from Etsy. I get questions all the time when you see them in the background, when you see them everywhere. Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? I got them from Etsy, but I want you guys to be aware, you don't have to get the exact same art. You can get your kids, your dog, you can get anything you want on these wall canvases. So the place I bought it from, I'll link exactly the vendor I bought all my wall art from. I bought the 4, so the Dorothy Dandridge and the Diana Ross photos, because that's what they had on their site. But I was like, man, do they think those are the only black? We love them, but there are other black icons that I would love to have on my wall too. And then I saw an option where I could customize whatever photo I wanted to send. So it could be anything. It could be a picture of me, it could be a picture of anything, and whatever dimensions that you want it to be in, you can customize it. So that's how I got Diane Carroll on my wall. She was not one of the options. If I could go back in time and I knew that option exists, I probably would have staggered and had like five queens on this wall, 5 different queens on this wall. But alas, I found out about it a little too late, but you guys are finding out about it now. You guys can put anybody you want on your wall. So again, get you some art for your home. And they're so lightweight. Mine are hanging up by command strips. They are not hammer and nails. I've never hammered and nailed anything to a wall. I think I'd be bad at it, quite honestly. So it is command strips. Over here, wall decals have been my thing. I don't know why I got to this decal mode all of a sudden, but I went decal crazy within this last, I'd say, 2 months almost. So I got a wall decal for my living room, and I love that. It's a pretty terracotta color. I think if you have a space where you want to put a little bit of I saw so many inspiration photos online before I actually purchased it, because it was a little pricey on Amazon. I got my wallpaper that's in my actual space for $7.99 from Amazon, but the decal itself was like $40, and I was like, is this worth it? But then I put it on. It was so worth it. I love that one. And I also just did something recently, again, another decal situation to my front door entryway. I put some of these little you're seeing a picture of it right now. I put some of these, I got these actually from Etsy. These will be so cute. I don't have a kid yet, but when I have like children, I could see this like being an accent wall in my children's room. That's what I saw a lot of people actually using it for, but I was like, I ain't got no kids, so I'm gonna just put it in my entryway. I would probably put it up more places in my home, but I'm not trying to go too crazy. Again, I do still have to take a lot of this stuff down when I move out, and I think I'm probably going to do just one more year, or we're in the year now, so a little less than a year of being here. But again, I don't care about timing with these. Even if I was here for just 1 year in total, I still would want my place to feel lively, especially in the sense that I work from here too, so I'm here all the time. You want to feel comfortable in your space. So wall art has been my thing, as well as faux plants. I know I made several videos in the past about houseplants, and I love them. I still love houseplants, and I have a lot of real ones all throughout my house too, but I've become obsessed with faux plants more recently because they look so good now. Why didn't y'all tell me? Faux plants of the past have just looked faux. They look fake. They look ugh. I've always been like a real plant or no. I'm not doing no faux. But Target, they done stepped it up. I think they've partnered with I actually have his book. His name is Hilton Carter. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he is a plant guy. But I remember that he was like, he had a display in Target, and I was like, what's he got a display for? Why are these plants in here? And I think he must have collaborated with them, because this actual plant right here, it's faux. But I don't know if on camera you can actually tell, but they actually go the full length with like even putting some browning, like putting some of this. If you put it beside, like this is a real plant that I have in my home, and it's doing its thing. It's growing. It's not getting the full sun, and I feel bad for it. It's still growing, but because my apartment is the way my apartment's set up, it's never gonna get the best sun no matter where I put it in. This is the sunniest room in my home, and it's still, you see, the leaves don't come in at full stuff. They're coming in, but it's like, oh, we're so weak. And I love ficuses, but I just, until I get a real, home and space with windows and all that, I have to make do with what I have to make do with. So faux plants have been a thing that I've put in my home more recently, and I've been loving it. They've been looking so natural from Target. So again, Amazon has some good faux plants, but I like Target because I could actually see it and then determine with my own eyes. They had some plants that have some browning on it, like, so it looks like it's a little bit, like, they did a good job. Target, you hit home runs with making the faux plant industry look like real plants, and I love it. The next thing that really, I think, helped my apartment was lighting. Changing lighting really helped my apartment. I've always talked about my apartment's an older apartment. They don't have overhead lights, so I don't have a lot of good lighting from overhead in this room. What I have is the sun that's lighting me right now and nothing else. So in my main room, so like my living room, my bedroom, and then the second bedroom, no overhead lights. So lamps are my thing. So when I first moved into this apartment, I got this little column lamp, and I thought it looked cute. I was like, it looks so cute. But it never felt like, it never made my space feel great. And then I realized I really like that over kind of arch type of a light, that kind of lean over type of a light, those lamps that I see everywhere that kind of lean over your couch. So when I got one of those, I think it changed my space. Now again, it's going to depend on the setup and the structure of what your living space looks like, but I definitely think the up and down floor lamps of the past, they're cute. But the ones that lean with it, rock with it a little bit, and the words of Cameron Monet here on Instagram, the ones that lean with it, rock with it, I love it. As well as the changing the lighting in my bedroom. I'll insert a before picture of that. I had the tall kind of lamps. I got those from Ross. I thought I was really doing something. And then I realized it makes my space feel smaller in my bedroom. So I went to Target and got these little short and kind of transparent see-through kind of glass lamps. Let in so much more light. They fill in the space. They really make it feel like something over here with those lamps. So I love those. I love that I switched those out both in my bedroom and my living room. Now my next thing, my IKEA coffee table. I feel like I've talked about this coffee table quite a bit, but I love it. And the funny thing is, I was watching an episode of, it was either Fixer Upper or the one Love It or List It. It was either one of those home shows. I was watching it with my mom. I don't know why I was over at her house, but whatever the case may be, I was just looking and I was like, oh my God, that's my coffee table. And she was like, no, it's not. Yours doesn't have that little brown thing at the bottom. I was like, yes, it does. It has the exact same thing. These people ain't slick. They done went to IKEA and got it because it does look like it costs more, but it's like $40. It's a very cheap coffee table, but yet it's a vibe. It's a vibe. That coffee table has been featured on HGTV. Yes, it has to be something. I'm sure a lot of stuff that I see on TV is from IKEA for these staging, because I mean, for staging furniture, typically you don't want to go too expensive unless you're gonna like keep it forever and put it into storage, which a lot of stagers do, is they just buy expensive pieces, move them in and out, and do it that way. But this still, again, not being expensive, looks really expensive and looks really good. The next thing I've been loving is my duvet. Let me be clear, not my duvet itself, because I do like my duvet. I realize it's not about the duvet, it's about the insert. Having the right insert changes the game, because I've bought couple of duvets throughout my life and they just weren't giving what needs to be gave in terms of, I think some people, I've seen it online on Amazon reviews, I've seen people just buy the duvet and they don't even put an insert in it. I don't get that concept. Or they put a very thin comforter insert in there, and I don't get the purpose of the duvet itself. I found this insert that gives me hotel quality. I'm talking, y'all, my bed be feeling hotel vibesy. It is, I didn't realize until recently, I think it's the down. It was a little bit more expensive, so I should have realized it had the down feathers in there, because one day I was like, you know, doing this and I saw a feather and I was like, why do I have feathers coming out? So it is one of those. I think that's probably what's adding to the luxurious feel of it. But you guys know I love white bedding. I love white bedding. I love the hotel look. It's very warm though. I will say this duvet, I got it during the summer. I was hot, child. But we're getting into cooler weather, so that duvet is coming in handy now. You might want to switch out for a lighter duvet insert during the summer months, especially depending on where you are. If you're in Florida year-round and it's year-round hot, maybe skip this duvet insert altogether. But it keeps you warm. It hugs you in the right way, so I love my insert. And the last thing I love for my apartment, this is expensive, this is pricey. But I talked about it last year, almost a year ago. I got the Dyson Vacuum V8. It is a wireless vacuum. You've seen me use it sometimes in some videos. People have asked, what vacuum is that? What vacuum is that? It is Dyson. I got it from a QVC partnership I did last year. I did a collaboration video with them, and quite honestly, I would have probably did it just for the vacuum. I hate to admit this, as a content creator, we're supposed to, you know, be like, oh, we need to get our payment. You don't pay us in product, you pay us in cash, you pay us in money. And so, yeah, of course, I got paid for that, but I don't want to tell QVC this, but I would have did it for the vacuum alone, because that vacuum is a pretty penny. But once you go wireless vacuum, it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back. I can't see me. I gave away that other vacuum. As soon as I popped open that new vacuum, I think I gave it to my mom, my old vacuum. I was like, take this mess back, honey. This cord life ain't for me no more. I'm rich auntie vibe. I love it though. I know it probably doesn't seem worth it. It's like we've been plugging in vacuums all our lives. We've been moving the cords from room to room whenever we go into a different space. Not having to do that makes me vacuum even more. Like, sometimes it's just like I feel like I just want to vacuum because no cords are holding me back. I have no strings holding me, tethering me to a space. I just be vacuuming sometimes. My home always has the fresh lines because it's so quick. If I got company coming over, it's like, oh, let me just do this real quick. I'm sure, other brands have cheaper ones and I can't speak to them. And again, I got this part of a collaboration. Again, I would have did it for that product alone. I got several other products. I would have done it for that vacuum alone. It was worth it. But overall, those are things that I have been loving in my apartment, and I could not live without my apartment. They've changed it. They've made it more effective. They've made it more safe in a way. So many different things. These products are little things that have definitely made my space the space that it is today. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't, still give it a big thumbs up. We want all the love and support over here on this channel. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Now that I've moved my subscribe sign, I've realized I'm off from it. So let's just insert the subscribe button. Y'all know where to do it. Do it down below, right up under me. There's a little subscribe button. Turn it gray and join the family. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram at LeeLaVon89 so you can keep up with my shenanigans in real time. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Follow me, I go give you all of me, all of me. I'm auto, Sean say she moving to the baseline.